Hey guys, it's Terabyte Gaming. I currently am the world record holder for the Forager speedrunning category. All islands any percent. That is probably subject to change very quickly, but as of right now, I feel pretty confident about the strategies and how to accomplish the run. So I feel like now would be a good time to demonstrate what the speedrunning strats are to complete Forager. So I'm just going to load up a new speedrun save just to explain some of the stuff that we do in the speedrun, because the speedrun save file is slightly bit different than normal save files and talent learning and such. So the main glitch that we exploit in the any percent run is going to be the duplication glitch, which has to do with items on the ground. So basically how it works is once you break an item and you have an item on the ground, so we have 2 wood here, if more wood hits the ground, as the wood that's falling onto the ground magnetizes, you can pull the stack behind it to you, and then it will magnetize the stack that you pulled along with all the wood that fell on the ground. So I just did an example there. The wood on the ground over here originally was 2 wood. The max amount of wood that a tree can drop is 3 wood, and there's a stack of 4 wood here. So what happened was, this tree dropped 2 wood, and then I pulled the past stack behind it right as it was collecting, and now I have 2 wood in my inventory from the stack that was on the ground, and it magnetized to this wooden stack. So let's see if I can do it again. If you have to pull it right as it magnetizes. It's kind of a hard timing, but if you get used to it, then you can pull it off pretty consistently. So as you can see, there's 6 wood now, and that's because this tree dropped 2 wood, which added to the 4 wood that was already on the ground, and I have 6 wood in my inventory, which is the 2 and then the 4. So this glitch is really important, and it allows us to do some really interesting things throughout the run. So here are the requirements that you're aiming to hit when you are doing this speedrun. You're aiming to hit around 40 berries, and this glitch can be used to get extra berries. So if I have a berry on the ground over there and I pull it through the right time, it will magnetize along with these berries. You can keep magnetizing them, but your goal is to get around 30 berries, 40 berries, enough to build around 5 fish traps. And same goes for wood. You're trying to get as much wood as you need to build around 5 fish traps. And actually you want more wood than that, because wood is what we're going to be duplicating later on in the game to finish the run. So after you have enough berries and wood that you believe, you also need 10 stone so that you can build a furnace for reasons later in the run I'll explain. But once you have 10 stone and wood and berries, then you want to race to level 2. It doesn't matter what you break, just as long as you hit level 2, because level 2 is where we get our first skill. And our first skill is going to allow us to jump levels really quickly. And your final results are going to be to hit level 6. Because there is a certain talent in the skill tree, which I will show you in just a second, right after I hit level 2, that allows us to... Oh, actually, I'm sorry, I can't show you that. But we go to our skills, and the first skill we want to learn is the skill industry. It allows us to gain XP when building structures, which is what we really are interested in. Since we can duplicate items as they hit the ground, and fish traps are fairly cheap, what we do is we make a line of fish traps along the wall, as many as you can afford at the time, and each of them gives you XP. And you want to break them from the bottom upwards, because as you build more fish traps, the price increments. So say the first fish trap is 4 berries and 4 wood, and the last fish trap in this example is 6 wood and 6 berries. So if you duplicate 4 wood and 4 berries with the middle fish trap, 5 wood and 5 berries, you have a stack of 9. Whereas if you use the 6 berries and 6 wood, you have a stack of 11. It just slightly increases the amount of wood and berries that you have. So your goal is going to be to duplicate with these fish traps as much as possible. So you want to drag them through the stack that's falling at the same time as they're magnetizing, and then it duplicates the wood and the berries. And then you can replace fish traps and keep the duplication going. You want to do this until about level 4, and this part of the run is the most crucial part of the run for most cases. If you don't get enough duplications in a row, or all of the duplications in a row, your run is probably going to suffer because you need a lot of wood later on the run. So I'm not doing a really good job duplicating these, but it's not as important because I'm not currently running. But once you get to around level 3 and you have a bunch of resources, what you want to do is you want to go back into your skill tree really quickly, and then you want to learn the economy skill. The reason why we're learning this is because it gives us 40 coins, which allows us to buy this island right to the right of us. And that's also why I'm placing my fish traps on the right side of the island, so that I am in a better position for when I hit level 3. So after we hit this level, after some math, we figured out that rows 2, 3, and 4 are the best rows to place your fish traps when you're going to build this island. So the reason why we're building them here is because when you build an island, it chooses one out of a set amount of random island choices. And these 3 rows have the highest probability of having land in them. And when there's land in an island that you buy, it will destroy every structure. So if we build a bunch of fish traps in a line here, it will give us a bunch of XP. We use the buy island feature to buy this island, and now all of our fish traps have broken into stacks. At this point in the run, what you want to try and do is build a fish trap relatively close to you or wherever you want to, as long as you can try and duplicate the existing stacks that are on the ground. Because these stacks that are on the ground are big stacks of around 40 items at least, depending on how many fish traps you place. So this should get you relatively close to level 5 or 6, depending on how you do it, how many fish traps you do. Usually if you're not level 6 at this point, or you can't hit level 6 by building the rest of your materials worth of fish traps, depending on what you're running for, the run would be slower or faster. But your overall goal is to hit level 6. So later on the run, you're going to require a furnace. So I use this furnace as a way to grant me that extra little bit of XP, while also making it beneficial for later in the run. So after I place my furnace, and this is right after I finish making my island, I'm around level 4.5. Then after I place my furnace, I use the rest of my fish traps to try and get me up to level 6. So I didn't do a very good job duplicating early on in the game, so I do not have enough resources to get to level 6. I'm just gonna quickly get some more materials so I can get to level 6 and show you the last bit of the run. So also, order for learning skills and doing duplication and such is not hugely important. Say you hit level 4 while you're duplicating fish traps, you could learn 2 skills instead of just learning 1. It just depends on which you find fastest. So, whoops. Just going to place some more fish traps and try and get to level 6. So after you hit level 6, there's one really important skill, which is why we hit level 6 in the first place. So it doesn't matter what skills you learn on the way there, but you want to hit this skill right here. You'll see it in a second. This one is called capitalism. The reason why we need this one so badly is because when you discard items from your inventory, it sells them. So basically what this means is we can use the duplication glitch to get a bunch of items. Then after we accumulate these items, we can sell them from our inventory by discarding them, giving us enough money to buy every island. So during this part of the run, we use the wood that we accumulated throughout the run, and this is why wood is important early on, because wood actually determines where you start in the duplication phase at the end of the run. So what you want to do is you want to use as much wood as possible, and then you want to craft coal, click max, and then use the back arrow at least once, because you need 2 items on the ground in order to start the duplication glitch. So we would craft this, go back in the furnace, and then stop the crafting, and now we have our original stack on the ground. So now, since I want to duplicate this stack and get a bunch of wood, I can start crafting another set of coal, cancel it, and quickly exit, and then try and duplicate that stack. So for example, if you don't know that you're going to duplicate it, you click the back arrow a few extra times. For me, I'm going to do that just for my sake. So you can stop crafting also and craft coal in the same screen, which is something that took me a little bit to figure out. But you would leave, and then you would try and duplicate that wood. So as you can see, I got 59 wood in my inventory, and there's 56 wood on the ground. So it correctly duplicated itself. So then, I would go back in the furnace, click on coal, max, craft. And we would do this process over and over again in a row. And this is kind of the final stretch of the run. This is where your run can either make or break by seconds, or slime RNG, or just a bunch of stuff can happen in this part of the run. And also, this is probably where you're going to struggle most with stress or suspense or whatever. This is going to be the hard part of the run, because you have to pull off this glitch a lot of times in a row. You have to get a cumulative of what I've found to be 6. I would say for safety reasons, I would go with 700,000 wood. And once you hit 700,000 wood, you can discard all of them and you'll have plenty of gold to get every single island. But you can see here I'm just slowly duplicating up. Usually I would be rushing this part a little bit more, but I'm just trying to practice up and give you guys a chance to look at what I'm doing. So we're at 21,000 on the ground and 13,000 in my inventory. 34,000 on the ground, 21,000 in my inventory. So basically this process keeps going on. You're at the very end of the run. And so when you start buying islands, there is one crucial thing that you need to know. You can't actually buy every single island from one place on the island. Once you buy all of the lower islands, you have to move your character and then buy all of the upper islands. So you see here, and volume warning, when you sell these it stacks 700,000 sound effects on top of each other. So I'm going to click this now, be warned. Alright, so then at this point in the run, you can, if you use hotkeys, press E twice and go to buying land. But you just want to buy every single land as fast as you can. At this point in the run, and this is important to note out, I build my furnace on the bottom of the island so that I can instantly start buying islands. And since I'm on the lower half of this island, I should be able to buy every island below me. And there should be 3 rows below you and 3 rows above you in every direction. Or actually no, yes. 3 rows to the side of you in every direction. So up, down, left, and right, 3 rows. And once you buy every single island, as you can see, I can't reach the 3rd row up here, which is why you have to leave the menu, walk to the top of the island, and then go back to buying islands. But once you have bought every island, you have to quickly leave the game, save and exit, don't Alt F4 or anything, don't quit the game. But you see this Imperialist achievement, that's when your run is complete. But you don't actually get the time from this speedrun timer down here. You have to go here to config and save and exit to menu. And the reason why is because the speedrun timer is not completely accurate with in-game time. So then you would click play again and it would tell you your time here. And if you notice, the time here is 12:47, but if I go into the world, it's like just hitting. Okay, well the time reset, but this is why we don't use speedrun time, because it's pretty inconsistent, and if you had caught it before I had left or gone to the menu, it was only around 11 minutes or so, so it's not completely accurate. That is pretty much the whole run. If you would like to see a more compiled and clean version of the run, I would suggest checking out my other speedruns, which give a good showing of what a full run would look like. So if you're interested in that, you can go check out my other videos. Terabyte Gaming, that's my channel. And other than that, I would really be interested in seeing some more people join the speedrunning community and submitting their runs, because it would be great to finally kickstart the speedrunning community in this game and get maybe even hundreds of people involved. It'd be a crazy world. Alright, well, we'll see you guys later. Thanks for watching.